The college football experience week 8 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Yes, use the promo code NFCBEAST for 15% off, active until the Eagles or Giants lose their next game, and the Eagles are on bye this week, so you might have to sweat out the Giants this week. But we got some fantastic campus edition t-shirts there. Every campus, well, a lot of campus, not every campus, all right? But I highly recommend you check that out, so do that, and remember, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience week 8 reaction show. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
I know I had a little bit of a tougher week last week. Still had a decent week, but this week, your boy was back. He was back. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Oh. Yes, Mike Houston. Yeah.
Oh, now he's on the Mike
First
Houston
fucking
train.
good win of his career at ECU. All right?
I mean, better late than never, as we say.
Let's go.
Now, give me that number. Let's get this out of the way earlier. Give me that Mike Houston coaching rating, 1 to 10.
6.
Wow. And just like that.
6. Well, we still missed a 25-yard field goal in the first possession.
He got a new kicker, though, right? Or did he go back to the old one?
I'm not even sure. No, I think it was the new guy, but new guy's still not all the way there. But shout out to my East Carolina Pirates. And look, you might look at the ATS record. I had a winning day, but not like on fire ATS.
Yeah.
But my money line plays. I think I just destroyed. Yeah, I did pretty good.
Yeah.
But my money line plays.
Well, rattle them off.
Oh, I mean, there's a reason why you should subscribe to the college football experience. All right. There's a lot of hacks out there, Patty C. There really is. All right. Before I talk stats here, I was watching the first quarter of the Texas-Oklahoma State game. And the announcers were talking about if Texas wins out, they have a 40% chance to make the CFP.
Let's review that.
When I talk about hacks,
Texas,
I talk about how ridiculous that statement. Like, can you think about how ridiculous that is? Yeah. This is a team that hasn't won their conference since 2009.
Yeah.
And you're going to drop that gem. You would not say that. At the same time, I watch Syracuse Clemson, and they say if you can't win this one, it's looking like they're not going to be able to. What the fuck is?
Yeah, here's what I don't get.
I hate it.
There's never been a 2-loss team in the college football playoff yet. There's only been one 2-loss team that I can remember ever, and that was in that crazy 2007 season. We've still got plenty of undefeated teams left, that are way ahead of Texas on every level.
I like this sport. It drives me crazy. You know, I love it. I watch 10 million hours of it. All right. Yeah. I'll watch a fucking Sonoma State against Dixie State football game, and I love every second of it.
Yeah.
But the sport also drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It drives me absolutely crazy. And guess what, Patty C?
And the people who are saying this, they're influential. You know, it's at the end of the day a fucking committee who's deciding on.
Yes, it's very influential. All this nonsense. I tried to tell you about Ole Miss. I tried to tell you about the Texas fucking Longhorns. I tried to tell you that if you go on the fucking road in college football, you lose.
You've been putting it out there.
What happened today?
Cannot deny it.
What happened today, Patty C?
Tell me about some of the big teams going on the road today.
Well, we have. Let's just go through the quote unquote AP top 25. Ole Miss. What happened to them?
Got smacked.
But they went into Baton Rouge, a place with actual fans. I'm not talking about. I get it. There are away games sometimes where you see, at Stanford, at Miami, and it doesn't really count. At LSU, lost by double digits. Patty C. UCLA went to Oregon, and all this talk about how great UCLA. You're trying to sprinkle fairy dust on me. I even fucking placed the last second wager when I went up to 7, and I ate shit on that wager. Because I knew Oregon would win, but I thought, hey, give me the 7 points. Maybe it'll be a 4-3.
It was surprising, but Oregon went after it.
UCLA's not that good.
It ended up being what, a 14-point game?
I don't even think Oregon's that good. I don't think Oregon's that good. They've been at home for all their games.
I think Oregon at home is a dangerous.
Yes, I think they can beat anyone in the nation. Yeah. If they played in Eugene, if Georgia would have played in Eugene, it would have been a completely different fucking game.
Give Dan Lanning some credit. A little onside kick was ballsy. Momentum shifting. They just stayed ahead of the curve the whole game.
But then, Patty C, Syracuse hit the road. Now, if there was one team, I'll be honest, I did have a wager of Clemson minus 13. But if there was one team that I thought deserved to win on the road today, it was the Syracuse Orangemen, because I actually believe they were the better football team today.
Yeah.
They got hosed on some calls. They got shut out in the second half. Clemson's D-line did shut them out in the second. But at the same time, no. I mean, I really don't know that Clemson's that good. I came away from that. I'm thinking Clemson will be 500 in the fucking Big 12.
There you go. Who told you that?
Yeah, you were on Syracuse. Shout out to what's Mick Dundee's character?
I forget his
in fucking in Crocodile Dundee. The guy who's giving directions out.
That's right.
But Wally, isn't it Wally? Wally, you're fucking Wally.
Shout out to Wally here, people.
Yes, but I thought the refs dictated the tone of that game. That terrible roughing the passer where the offensive lineman actually pushes the defensive guy into him too. I noticed that on replay. That absolutely terrible call there on a 3rd and 25 gave them momentum. And there was another call on that drive that was nonsense too. Yes, it was like that whole drive was a lot like Purdue's drive against Syracuse in week 2.
Yeah.
Or Syracuse's drive against Purdue in week 2.
Yeah. Two
even worse
on the same drive.
Even worse, and for anyone that wants to challenge that and say, well, there's bad calls in every game, sure, but the same call within about 4 minutes of game time.
Yeah. The next drive.
And in my opinion, both should have been no calls. Both should have not been roughing the passer.
Or maybe it was a drive or two later.
No, it was the very next drive.
The next drive.
Yeah. Both should have not been roughing the passer, in my opinion. But if you're going to call one, the second one was way worse than the first one.
The first one, he's going up the field and he steps out of bounds. And
it was fucking ridiculous.
The second one, the guy shoves him while he's already out of bounds and running directly out of bounds.
Well, and both were monumental because one was the 3rd and 25 that gave Clemson a first down. Even with the backup quarterback in, I didn't think he was moving the ball extremely well. I thought the ground game got a little bit better.
Klubnik didn't do anything special.
Yeah. And then the second one was on a 3rd down for Syracuse that would have extended the drive, and they had the lead still. Critical calls. The ACC refs should be fucking ashamed of themselves. But look, even that, Syracuse still got shut out. I thought Clemson's defensive line really put it on them in the second half, right?
I mean, Schrader.
I still believe Syracuse was the better team today.
For as much as we give Anai credit, not running Tucker, 5 times?
I agree.
That's terrible.
I agree. But honestly, who do you think the better team was today?
I think Syracuse is the better team.
I do. Watching that game, and I came into it betting on Clemson minus 13.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, I think Clemson's going to fuck them up. I said it on the morning show. I watched that game, and I was like, there's one team that looks way better than the other team.
Yeah.
They look more prepared. They look better, just flat out better.
Maybe Clemson, maybe there's something going on that I didn't notice, that like Clemson really committed to stopping the run and forced Schrader to pass, and forced Anai to call passing plays, but it didn't come across on film that way. It looked like they just weren't running him. I think he had a pretty good average per rush, if I'm not mistaken. And they just they kept relying on Schrader to throw the ball downfield, and he was throwing picks. There's on that last drive, there's an open guy.
He killed me on that
on
play.
the outlet.
That's what I was betting on. I was betting on the fact that Schrader was going to make some key mistakes. I called for a defensive touchdown by Clemson, never happened.
Yeah.
But I did call for a defensive touchdown by Iowa, and that did happen. And I hope you listened this morning when I said bet Iowa over 9 points, because that thing cashed with 10.
Dude, your money on that defensive strip sack that led to either a field goal or ended up being a touchdown. But I want to say this: Schrader is exceptional to me. He is on Bryce Young's level as far as like mobility within the backfield.
I want to say this:
Clemson
would be 500 in the Big 12.
They would certainly have a couple losses at this point, within conference.
They're not a good enough team. They can't move the ball. They have no explosive players on offense.
Yeah,
they're not that good of a team, dude.
Yeah,
they're not like. I understand. I had them in the database top 10 because I had to, because they're undefeated.
Yeah,
but if you're asking me to actually list the best teams, they would not be in the top 10.
They benched their quarterback, through 3.5 quarters or 2.5 quarters, because they were not accomplishing anything offensively. Credit to Shipley. What do you have? Like 172 rushing yards, although 50 of it was on one play.
Yeah.
But still, he was good. Give him a little credit for being explosive, but I think against a good defense, he'll get bottled up completely. And especially if you can key on the run.
We knew Syracuse was fool's gold, but I actually came away for this more impressed with Syracuse than I thought I was.
I think Syracuse on turf is very dangerous, because I think Schrader is fast enough and he cuts well enough.
No, I think when they're going to lose a bunch more games because they haven't hit the road yet. They played at UConn.
You know who they remind me of? They're a knockoff K-State. Syracuse is a knockoff K-State.
That's disrespectful to K-State. But Patty C, K-State hit the road. You know what happened? Unfortunately, I do think they probably would have won the game had they had Adrian Martinez, but he only played like 2 plays. And then Will Howard came in, and he looked great, and then he got injured. And then the third-string quarterback came in, and TCU scored like 30, they were 28 up, unanswered.
28-10 before.
It might have even been 28-7. I'm not even
before
sure.
Howard got hurt.
Yeah. Either way, guess what happened, Patty C? K-State's number 17 in the nation. They went on the road and lost. Texas at number 20. Guess what they did? Everyone wanted to say that they're back. Guess what? They're 0-2 on the road. Before they used to say, hey, we didn't have Quinn Ewers. Well, guess what? Quinn Ewers played like shit today. If you watch that game, that looked like a guy that was not very good, right? You know who called that? Pick motherfucking Dundee, all right? Patty C, Mississippi State went on the road. Guess what happened? They lost.
They got how?
Every single team that went on the road in the top 25 lost.
Now,
I need to fucking rest my case?
You could also make this argument that pretty much every single team that went on the road this week happened to be playing a higher ranked team. And so you would expect them to lose, but no upsets.
Oregon was behind UCLA.
A little behind UCLA, you're right.
Ole Miss at LSU. LSU's not even
7?
ranked. Buddy.
Yeah, that's true. Facts. I stand corrected. I'm just thinking of the ones that we were just talking about.
And let me tell you this. I didn't hear any talk about Oklahoma State making the playoffs when I turned on the TV today.
Yeah.
Even though they've been better than Texas since fucking George W. was in office. All right.
Spencer Sanders, 391 passing yards, 2 touchdowns.
And he even didn't look 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he struggled at moments. He should have had
threw a pick.
He threw a pick in the end zone.
57 fucking attempts. Hey, what's his name? Tone it down. Gundy. A lot of passing there. But
let's not even talk top 25. Let's talk about another team that didn't really hit the road. UCF, right?
Yeah.
Their only road game was at Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic is like an old folks' home. It's like 50-50. That's not an away game for UCF, right? They go to Greenville. What happens?
Yeah. Slapped.
It's so obvious, man. And it's annoying to me.
To have to say it every week?
Yes. It's so fucking obvious. I've been following the sport for fucking 30 years. It's so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you knew for a fact UCLA wasn't going to get the dub in Autzen.
Yes,
Yeah.
I said that. I also said Texas would lose to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
I also was on LSU, Patty C. I was on K-State, and I still think +5.5 should have hit, but God damn it, I didn't anticipate all their quarterbacks going down.
True. Well, it is what it is. We have who's remaining undefeated at this point. Let me take a look at the old.
It's the teams that don't play that many away games. This is a simple equation. It's a simple fucking equation.
Let me look at TCU, because I feel like TCU should be getting a little more credit.
They had Ole Miss ahead of TCU. Ole Miss struggled with Vanderbilt. TCU at least beat some good teams.
TCU so far has wins over SMU, Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma State, and Kansas State. That should probably be like number 2 or 3 in the country.
Yes, if they're going to give Tennessee, which I have Tennessee number 1 because I think their resume speaks on it. But
Yeah.
Pitt, I'll have news for you. Pitt lost today.
Pitt lost to.
Well, that's one of Tennessee's marquee
Louisville.
wins. Is that
Yeah.
Pitt?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I just find it ridiculous, man. Shout out to the chat. I know the chat's going crazy. Pat Fisher, UCF didn't give that win to ECU. ECU beat their ass all fucking game. Bring it on, motherfucker. All right. We beat their ass all game. Holton Ahlers was 30 of 36. All right. You couldn't stop him. All right. He looked like fucking Broadway Joe back there. All right. Let's go. Let's go.
That wonky delivery of his, if you can make him look great, then you're trash.
Well, I'm saying, like, yes, John Rice Plumlee turned the ball over, but ECU also missed a 25-yard field goal. They won by 21 points. And if you look at the stat line, this is no gimmick. 30 of 36, 311 yards. All right. Keaton Mitchell, this little flea, 16 rushes, 105 yards. All right. 2 touchdowns. He was getting 7 yards a carry. All right. CJ Johnson, 11 catches, 140 yards, and a touchdown. All right.
30 of 36 for Haley. Kobe's feeling himself over there.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the dogs that I hit on, Patty C? I know we have to analyze all these games and talk about them, but let's just rattle off the dogs I hit on today, Patty C. Patty C. Let's talk. Well, I got to talk about Akron. That broke my heart again. But Duke, 10-point dog on the money line. Boom. Fuck you. Even though you were with me,
Yeah.
right? Bowling Green, 6.5-point dog against Central Michigan on the money line. Boom. Fuck you, right? Buffalo. You were with me on this, I think, with the Bulls, or did you switch to Toledo? What'd you do? What'd you do there?
I got to go back and check.
Buffalo Bulls over a touchdown dog. Boom. Hit on the money line.
I hit that with you.
Oh, should we go further down? Let's go. Well, I mean, LSU was I think they were even favored. I don't remember. Oklahoma State, 6.5-point dog, plus 210 on the money line. Fuck you.
How the hell were they dogs in that game?
Liberty, 7-point dog. I rode Liberty on the money line. You joined me there.
I didn't join you, buddy. I told you
didn't?
before this. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I told you about Liberty before this season, and I believe my fucking ticket is already cashed on that. And we have 4 games left here. What's their record? 6? Or, are they 7-1 at this point?
Yeah. By the way, it was Walt, not Wally. They're saying for the character. I love our Crocodile Dundee fans out there.
I know, right?
How about South Carolina this morning on the morning show? I said, hey, take South Carolina on the money line, 3.5-point dogs. Boom. What happened to A&M when they go on the road, Patty C? They lost.
Taking it
right?
out. Beamer Magic, baby. Liberty is 7-1, and they have already cashed that over.
Oh, and I got one pending. Guess what? Cal's up 7-6 in the third quarter against Washington. I got Cal on the money line. Hopefully that hits. All right. The point is, Patty C, I'm on fucking fire. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. All right. Let's go. I mean, honestly though, can we talk about this? Let's talk more about your little nonsense that you try to sprinkle every year since I was fucking 12 years old.
On what?
I got to hear about your bullshit recruiting rankings. All right. Syracuse was the better team. The score didn't show it. Syracuse in the recruiting rankings like 75th every fucking year. All right. Clemson, past 5 years, 17th. I'm sorry, 16th in 17, right? In 2017, 16th, 7th, 12th, 3rd, 5th, right?
Buddy,
Texas A&M.
Clemson won
Texas
the game.
A&M. They lost at South Carolina. Guess what? And they lost to App State earlier this year. They didn't have one fucking 5-star in their team. Fuck you, right? 13th, then in 17, then 7th, 5th, 6th, 9th. Fuck you, right? Miami, Florida against Duke, right? Miami. What's Duke's recruiting rankings, huh? Mario Cristobal is the savior. First year. Same with Mike Elko, all right?
Can we acknowledge for 1 second that recruiting has kind of shifted now that all of the other rules around transfers have and an extra year of eligibility? We have guys in there.
Well, I could pull up Miami's record a couple years ago. Look at their recruiting rankings: 12th, 8th, 17th, 11th. They suck ass all those 5 years, right? Texas, 2017, 25th, 2018, 3rd, 2019, 3rd, 2020, 9th. They suck ass all those years, all right? Talk to me.
Buddy. Georgia and Alabama have been at the top of the recruiting rankings for the last 7 years, probably.
Yeah, and they play 4 away games every year, and one of those is Vanderbilt, all right?
I'm just saying. National champions
they
just happen to be the recruiting champions.
And they put them in there. No, that's nonsense.
You
don't find that ironic.
I do find it very weird that the recruiting champion is also the national champion.
Yeah, and
that almost lends credibility to what I'm saying.
Who had the number 1 recruiting class?
You make all the excuses.
Who had the number 1 recruiting class?
Who did?
A&M.
Texas A&M. Okay, we'll let them get that for a few more years.
No, they got to fix the schedule. They got to do. Hey, let's do 4 away games.
Couple more tweaks.
Let's do no back-to-back away games. Let's do 4 away games, and we'll never be fucking tested. We'll give you a gap here. We'll give you a gap here. If we ever give you back-to-back away games, we promise you'll go to Starkville, and the next one will be in Nashville.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to see through it. I'm like in the Matrix. The green shit is the numbers are coming down. You know what I mean?
I do want to see. I want to see that the back-to-back roads for Alabama, if they've ever been now this year they do have a very nice back-to-back road, which is the first time I've ever seen that with them, which is LSU and Ole Miss.
But now, doesn't that Texas win look worse?
Sure. Yeah, it's iffy. I don't think Alabama is.
No one's that good this year, dude.
Yeah, no one's that good this year. You're not going to sit here and tell me, though, Alabama hasn't been great before. But
but I think they would have had a lot more losses had they had normal schedules like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Everyone wants to crown Nick Saban, all right? Greg Sankey's over there in the white Cadillac. All right, folks, I'm done being a fucking jackass. How you guys doing? Current scores right now: Wyoming up 20-14 into the 3rd against Utah State. San Diego State is up 13-7 over Nevada. I did wager on that one, and I am sweating that one because I have San Diego State minus 6.5. I have a lot of money going on Cal currently plus 8 points. They are up 7-6 on Washington in the 3rd quarter in Berkeley. I'm ready to drop some acid.
Hit me with your locks.
My locks. Well, first off, how about my Western Kentucky call last night, huh? I even told you it would be a field goal game. Western Kentucky will win by 3.
I thought I was looking pretty smart when who's it? UAB, they jumped out, right? And then was it 17-7? Western Kentucky battled back, took the lead 20-7 with 5 or 6 minutes left. I was like, Kobe's looking. No, that was 3rd quarter that happened. I was like, and then the score just maintained the entire time. Fucking looked pretty nice. It called for the three-point win.
Buddy.
Got the 3-point win.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Great rant. Yeah, well, shout out to Doug Reed in the chat. It was a great rant because it holds water. It holds fucking water, man. They have no one plays away games. The teams that play the least away games go to the fucking playoffs every year. Look it up.
Yeah.
It's so fucking obvious. And they'll say, no, you can't have a large playoff. The regular season's a playoff. Oh!
Here we go. Let me ask you this. We got Penn State hosting Ohio State on deck. Odds that Ohio State takes the L there?
Probably not.
But expect it to be a closer game. Oh,
it's their second away game. They haven't had any mileage on them, man. This is the way to manipulate it. Ohio State has the perfect blueprint. Guess who they have as their back-to-back away? They only have 4 away games. They're playing their second away game on fucking Halloween weekend. One of the most ridiculous things. It should never happen. They should be penalized. They should, if you had an honest committee, they would penalize them for that, right? Guess who their back end of the back-to-back away is?
Who's that?
Northwestern. Isn't that fucking ironic? Isn't that ironic?
That is a weird coincidence, I would say. The worst team in the Big Ten happens to be
it's just
on the back.
Dude, I'm telling you, when you dive into the sport, and I'm not trying to say that I know more than everybody or some shit like that. I'm just saying when you live college football every day, You see this nonsense, and it's hard. It's hard to like, as much as I love college football, it drives me absolutely fucking crazy. We need a large playoff. There's never been a national champion. You heard me. There has never been a fucking true national champion.
Okay.
All right.
Let me rattle off my locks. Syracuse plus 13.5. Hit it. Cincinnati -3. Blew that one.
I had money on that shit too, dude. That was terrible.
Yeah. What was it?
Anyone that watched that game, I want to say it was fourth down. It might have been third.
They were up 15, right?
They were up big that whole game.
Yeah.
Like from the minute it kicked off, I
29
feel like.
to 14, was it? Yeah.
The touchdown that SMU scored on was deflected by great play by the corner. So corner and wideout are going to the right side of the end zone, like fly route. I don't know.
Fourth down. Yep.
I think it was fourth. Might have been third.
Okay.
I think it was fourth though. And corner makes a great play on the ball because the ball was just thrown up there. And it deflects, and like I feel like the safety might have got a piece of it too, and it goes to the other receiver that was not intended to.
Yeah, that's
and they catch the touchdown.
Shades
That's
of
how we lose.
Shades of Louisiana Tech last year for SMU.
Yeah,
deflection kings, and they get the cover. Cincinnati blows it late. Duke +9. We look pretty good on that for the triple lock. Purdue in our lock battle. You diagnosed that one right. Wisconsin.
I tried to tell you that was my number one lock.
Reborn.
That and UTSA, but I ate shit on UTSA. UTSA almost lost. But Jim Leonard, that was an obvious play. They were going to destroy Purdue. Purdue doesn't know how to play them. It's like this right here. This is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You have to see once again the Matrix shit. Matrix.
You are in the Matrix as far as Purdue, Wisconsin is not a trend situation that I've
16 straight years. It should be a fucking.
Well, it
trend.
should be a trend, but it's not. Have they beaten them 16 straight? Good God. It's not on my radar, even though it's that ridiculous. Okay.
Nagel's Bagels making me laugh saying NC Nick will take the Charlotte job.
Yeah. It'd be just as good as Will Healy, let's be honest. Tulane -7 almost didn't cover despite being up 35.
I was on that one too. I mean, I wagered that one. We had this. I don't think you understand. We had a fourth. I thought I was like, kick the field goal. I wanted Memphis to kick the field goal. It was 4th and 5. They're at like the Tulane 10 or maybe 15, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, just kick the field goal, make it a 7-point game. We push, right? No, they convert the 4th down. They get all the way down to the 3-yard line, and then their jackass quarterback goes an interception in the end zone.
Thank God. Thank God for that pass defense of Tulane coming up big when it counted.
They were destroying them 28-0. The fact that we almost lost that bet
35-0
was awesome.
Ridiculous.
that was a great roller coaster.
Memphis, give them a little credit for the comeback, and I'm with you on the last lock. Cal plus 7.5. Actually, Penn State -4 hit big time for me. Mizzou did not hit for me. Vandy. Satterfield, Drinkwitz.
Oh, he almost
kicked.
he almost got the can today, right? Yeah. Garrett in the chat saying LSU's recruiting was 5th in 2019. They won the national championship, but I'll have you know, they didn't recruit Joe fucking Burrow. They got lucky. Once again, I think one of the things that is missed very often, as you're seeing with Stetson Bennett at Georgia, it took a walk-on for them to win the national championship. They had a lot of good quarterbacks over the years, and you just got to catch lightning in a bottle at quarterback. You're seeing it with DJU. I mean, Clemson won those ones. I still think if Clemson was in the ACC with those other teams, they probably. I'm sorry, if they were in the SEC or something, I don't think they would have won the national championship those years.
I think you can't really shit on Trevor Lawrence as a great college quarterback. And he was the number one.
No. But I'm just saying, if they were in the SEC, they would have had.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
That's my point, though, is they caught lightning in a bottle there.
I don't think that's lightning in a bottle when you get the top player in the country.
But that fails all the time. Dan Kendra, Ron Pallas. You know what I mean? Like, you can go on and on and on.
I would be willing to bet that, although you're right, at quarterback, there's a much greater variance in terms of actual success rate than I think probably any other position.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
but you're still
if
better
Joe Burrow
off.
Almost went to Cincinnati that year. He was very close. It was down to Cincinnati and LSU. If he doesn't go to LSU, I bet you LSU goes like 7-5 that year, 8-4. You know what I mean? They didn't have any guys.
Yeah. I mean, they were. What were they? No, he was there both years.
Yeah. I saw him live, buddy.
Yeah.
Saw him live. Take on UCF in that filthy dome. I don't know. Let's go game by game though. Let's start off. Rutgers 24, Indiana 17. I didn't watch too much of this game. I had it on briefly on God's eye. But I'll tell you this: when I saw Indiana was up 14-0 in the first 7 minutes, I was like, "Wow, I really nailed my Indiana plus 3.5." Right?
Yeah.
I didn't actually bet this game. I'm just saying.
You would have thunked.
We pick every game here.
You would have thunked, but the Golden Guido
first Big Ten win in since Police Academy 6. You know what I mean?
getting it done. 4-3 overall. Look, they're almost bowling here. Now, granted, the back end of the schedule actually has some winnable games too. Minnesota, Maryland, and Michigan
they went bowling
State
last year in 5-7.
It's true, but my legit
because the other team had COVID. Remember that they got called up?
Who got
Rutgers got called up.
Yeah,
someone, I forget what team had COVID, but they got called up and they're like, "You want to play?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Hey, he's on a bowl streak potentially.
Patty C, Indiana's.
When was the last time Rutgers was on a bowl streak? I want to look that up.
2008, probably.
Did they? Yeah, they probably went for a couple years
in a row.
That's true.
Indiana, that job might open this season. Watch out. Watch out.
Who wants it though? This is a question.
Urban Meyer. They wouldn't have the balls. They wouldn't have the balls.
Why would Indiana not have the balls? I feel like that. Is that an unscrupulous university, or is that like
I don't think they have the balls. I think
you got to know. You know when a fan base is desperate. Indiana's fan base isn't desperate.
Yeah.
Maybe in basketball they
tried all this. Bobby Knight choked the shit out of a player, and they're like, "We didn't see anything." Oh, those were the days, right? I'm joking. I like when he threw the chair on the court. All right, folks, before we get to the next game, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Patty C, I was on the right side of Houston against Navy as Houston wins 38-20. Don't look now, but that onside kick magic against Memphis has now propelled Houston. All of a sudden, Houston's starting to look like
the team we thought they were.
What
are they at right now? What's their record?
Well, they've won 2 in a row, and that's all that matters. The used car salesman might get himself out of this.
4-3, definitely not anywhere close to the team we thought they were going to be. But who's left? USF at home.
I thought he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
If they had lost that Memphis game,
he'd probably be gone.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's got 9 lives, man.
But I mean, shellac Navy on the road, impressive. Look, they have USF, Temple, and Tulsa, which is, I guess, winnable, all at home. You could be 7-5 at the end of this thing.
Magical. Patty C. I tried to tell you, never bet on a Bowden in a big game against a triple option. I took Army.
I don't know that
I
came
took
out of your
Army
mouth,
minus
go
6.5.
ahead and take credit.
No, but I did take Army.
You did take Army.
Yeah.
Army.
They whooped that ass. 48-24.
That was a struggle for a minute, but
it was.
When they put the foot on the gas, they blew them out of the water. That was impressive.
I was also foolish enough to take UT Martin plus 39 as they lost by 41.
I mean, I like Pat 40 putting on Twitter, the hangover here was so predictable when it was 7-7, and then it's like 55 straight points.
They're also playing UT Martin.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Patty C, I was on the right side of Kansas losing to Baylor. I had Baylor -7. Boom.
Nice.
Kansas got issues.
Kansas almost came back in that.
True, but they still have issues. They're a passing team now, and that doesn't fit their identity. It does not fit their identity. They're not built for that.
How did Jason Bean do?
It wasn't even his fault. I feel like his receivers were fumbling the ball left and right. Might have thrown a pick or two, but
Jason Bean 232 passing yards. Kind of want to see that stat.
How many attempts did he have?
He was 16 of 27.
Damn, I feel like I thought I saw more attempts. But Devin Neal 32 yards rushing on the ground.
Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. I mean, that was kind of.
I knew Aranda. Like, look, I'm a Leipold guy. I think he's doing great things. I think if they had Jalen Daniels, they might have been able to win this game. However, I also knew Aranda knows how to shut down these gimmick-ass offenses.
28-3 at half.
He owns Lincoln Riley. I'm telling you. Shout out to when Jeff Levy plays them. I better believe I'm taking Baylor. He fucks with them.
Yeah.
He knows how to shut that. He knows how the bastard thinks.
He knows the cha-cha-cha. Let's
Yes.
say that.
Next up, Patty C. I actually think Baylor's better than Texas too. I think Baylor's actually probably the third or fourth best team in the Big 12.
They are 4-3 right now.
Look at those losses. A triple overtime loss to what? BYU and Provo. Once again, you hit the road, you lose, right?
Yeah. Not looking like that good of a loss though, because BYU.
I understand that, but I got it. I mean, they had a million chances to win that game. They missed field goals.
Sure.
It is what it is.
Oklahoma State. That's a respectable loss.
Yeah.
But it wasn't home. And then West Virginia,
That was
who
brutal.
just got annihilated by Texas Tech today.
Yeah. But that's in Morgantown.
48-10.
Yeah, you go on the road, you lose. Quarterback got knocked out of the game. They don't have the depth because both their backups from a season ago transferred.
I think Baylor has taken a step back. I don't think they're the third best team. Did you say third or fourth?
I said third or fourth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I had my own pecking order of the Big 12 at this point, obviously at this point you have to put TC at number 1.
Yes.
TCU.
2, Oklahoma
State. 3, probably Kansas State
Yes. And then 4, I think you go Baylor.
over Kansas.
Yes. They just beat Kansas today.
Yeah, but with Jalen Daniels. But yeah, I guess you got to take the head-to-head.
I think they're better than Texas. I think they're going to beat them when they play.
You might be right. You might be right on that. So what would that be? 4th then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Third or fourth. Let's go.
What about Texas Tech? No.
Iowa 10, Ohio State 54.
Well, I want to see the
The
offensive
lawn
stats.
chair
'cause I
was
can't-
just so great today.
Colby, I didn't get to see as much of this game as I would have liked. CJ Stroud, 20 of 30, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns. That seems like a solid stat line. You expect him to get to 300 when you're passing for, or you're scoring 54
Ohio State
points.
3 of 13 on third down. I'm telling you, Iowa did a great job defensively. It's just you can't have a lawn chair that just gives you the ball every other play.
I want to
If
see.
they had just punted on first down, this game would have been like 28-3. No, 28-7.
Actually, equal time of possession, essentially. Slight edge to Ohio State, but a 1 minute more possession. But 16 first downs to 8, 360 total yards to 158. 158 total yards. That's what you expect from the worst offense in the country.
He's so bad. Look, people calling for Ferentz to get fired are fucking ridiculous. Don't make me start on
But
that.
maybe Brian Ferentz.
Oh yeah, sure. He's just a son collecting money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Lane Kiffin. You know what I mean?
Or Steve Belichick, is it?
Yeah, Steve Belichick doing that meth in that 83 LeBaron. All right. Yeah. But Ohio State, Patty C, what's their best? Check this out. I don't know if you know this, Patty C. Toledo lost today. They have no good wins. There's not one fucking good win on this schedule.
Toledo. Let me pull that up. What was the final count in that game?
No, but I'm talking about Ohio State.
Okay.
Okay, so what? Notre Dame is what? What's their record? Notre Dame won today against UNLV, but they didn't cover.
Notre Dame's a decent squad. They're not great.
Define decent.
Better than 60% of the teams in the country.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
I think they're right in the middle. They lost to Marshall. They lost to Stanford. Marshall and Stanford are not good football teams.
That's true. They beat BYU. They beat North Carolina. Those are decent football.
No. BYU's in the same mix. North Carolina's got a good record. Yes, that's a good win.
Cal is a middle of the pack football team.
Well, Colorado beat Cal last week.
What is Cal? 3-3. Look, I'm not saying Ohio State has a good record. I agree with you. Good resume.
You cannot tell me, like, honestly, if you had to chart Notre Dame, they'd be in the 60s, I think, right?
Somewhere in that range.
That's what I'm saying. So you're middle, there's 131 teams.
Notre Dame's sitting at 4-3. We just said, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're probably in the 60s. Yeah, if that's Ohio State's best win, which it probably is, then they haven't proven anything.
I don't even think it is. I still think Toledo beats Notre Dame. Toledo almost beat them last year.
True.
In South Bend. They lost by 2.
A much better Notre
right?
Dame team. Iowa, though, they're not very good this year. What's Iowa?
They're 3-4.
3-4. So at Penn State, we're really going to get an idea of who Ohio State is next week.
That's the only good team. Their whole schedule sucks.
Then at
What?
Northwestern,
Then
hosting
Indiana? Oh my God.
at Maryland, and then hosting Michigan.
That
This
is the easiest schedule I've ever fucking seen, dude.
Yeah, they're cakewalking.
Now, they couldn't have known Notre Dame was going to be that bad, but at the same time, the Big
Michigan
Ten protecting
State,
them,
yeah.
the Big Ten protecting them is partly to blame. Like, that's the fact. They're the only team in the nation right now that has only played one away game.
Yeah.
131 teams. Do we need to do that to a team that has a top 10 recruiting class every year? Patty C, right?
You talk about the advantages. Top 10 recruit, top 5 recruiting class every year.
Yeah. But
essentially home field every week.
Is that irony, though? That's why the system's broken.
The second end of their back-to-back is the worst team in the conference. What other advantages?
This is why the system's broken, though. So let me get this straight. The teams that get the best players don't have to play away games.
Yeah, it's broken.
It's a broken system. You have no idea if this team's good or not.
Yeah, well, we harp on it for like an hour every week, but Ohio State,
so
needless to say,
Toledo's still their best win.
I agree with you, though, because this is what it's going to come down to at the end. It's like you're going to have an undefeated Ohio State team that's beaten one good team on the road, not even a great Penn State team, a good Penn State team. And other than that, pretty much a cakewalk schedule. Obviously, beating Michigan at home is worthy of a playoff. But that's one game.
Yeah,
one game.
What? I'm like, just one win against a
one playoff resume.
Dude, you could actually. I mean,
point.
Maryland almost lost to Northwestern today. They got it done. Maryland will have a winning record, probably. I would say they're probably going to go 7-5. That's that's what I called for. Let me just quickly look at Maryland's remaining schedule. At Wisconsin, loss. At Penn State, loss. Home to Ohio State, loss. Home to Rutgers. Actually, I stand corrected. They will be 6-6. They will be 6-6. So they're going to go. The only teams with winning, the only teams that will be good wins will be.
Well, it's the same thing as Georgia last year. Georgia beat how many teams with winning records last year? Like 1 or 2 at most?
because the SEC has the 8 conference games, so you can stack your.
But even still, I think Georgia,
like Missouri will end up like 7-5, even though their best win will be against like
Central Arkansas.
Yeah, something like that. It's just a sham, but honestly, like I can't tell you that Ohio State's that good.
Clemson, man.
I cannot tell you that they're that good because I haven't seen anything.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a real fucking test. Yes. We know we can project and say, hey, CJ Stroud's incredible.
Yeah.
Smith and Jigba, their whole roster is great, but we haven't seen it. How many people wanted to crown Texas with Quinn Ewers? Quinn Ewers looked like he looked like Mike Pagel today. All right.
It's true. Look, I want to see. Well, let me ask you who you got. How do you see this thing playing out? You see Ohio State winning out, presumably?
Well, I think them or Michigan. I like I said, I can't just say Ohio State's better than Michigan because they've shown me shit.
Okay, well,
they dominate.
Your job
but they're
is
not
to
playing
pick,
anyone good.
Pick one of those two teams.
I mean,
you think
it's in Columbus. I believe in home field environments. I think there's a difference in what defines winners.
Okay,
in college football,
Ohio State gets a berth.
State, yes.
Okay. Who do you think? An SEC team? Obviously, Georgia is probably gonna beat Tennessee at home. Then maybe beat Bama again in the SEC championship.
Not again. It would be the first time.
Oh, that would be the first time. Yeah,
I don't know. I could see Bama beating them too.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
So at least one SEC team, whether it be Tennessee, Georgia, or Alabama. Then who else is in that mix? Even is the Big 12 and the Pac-12 gonna basically chew itself up and keep themselves out of the race again with 2 losses?
Yes,
probably.
I mean, the Big 12 is very good. It's the best conference. I really believe it's the best conference this year.
Yeah.
And I think by it being the best conference, you're going to have – they don't have the reputation that the SEC teams do, so they will not get the pass that they get. But I do believe it's the best conference in football this year. Like, I really believe there's a big gap because there's shitty teams, and everyone plays each other.
Yeah.
You're forced to play everybody.
Yeah.
You can't duck it. You can't duck it like, with them playing once every 15 years in College Station or vice versa or in Gainesville or something with your crossovers.
Every year
they have to play every single team on the schedule.
Agreed. So we're assuming Clemson wins out. So we got Clemson, Ohio State, the winner of the SEC.
Clemson could lose to North Carolina. I almost want to say they will lose to North Carolina if North Carolina gets into the ACC championship.
It could very well happen. North Carolina.
Clemson's not that good.
Got a much more explosive
Clemson's
offense.
really not
That's
that
a sham team if they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But assuming they make it.
But like Bama, Georgia, and I think Ohio State is legit, but we don't have no.
Who do you think, Georgia or Bama would win in the SEC championship? Make a prediction.
I got no fucking.
Make a prediction.
I'll go Bama.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you take a one-loss SEC or Big 12 team, Big 12 champ, or one-loss Pac-12 champ over a 12-1 Georgia that lost to Bama in the SEC championship?
They'll take Georgia.
They'll put Georgia
Yeah.
in. So we'll have Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama.
Do you know the irony though? The irony is I think what? Well, Bama already has a loss, so you can cancel them out of it. Patty C, if you were to look at the teams that have played away games.
Like decent Oregon?
No. I'm saying like the projection is Ohio State, 4 away games. Michigan, 4 away games. Clemson, 4 away games. Well, 4.5, whatever you want to deem that Georgia Tech game. It was in Atlanta, but there was more fucking Clemson fans there because they played it at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
I consider that basically 4 away games then. And then
the random neutral
Georgia
site
only
in
has
conference
4.
game.
So it's like, that's my point to all of this madness. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
It's so fucking obvious.
Well, we're crying about it. Let's fucking drink and, let's celebrate the great of college football.
Yeah, the great of college football was Akron fucking me again. All right. Man, Akron was up 17. I feel like, were they up 17-0? No, they were up 10-0, and I felt good about myself. Then Kent State scored 14 unanswered, but then Akron stormed back, took the lead, and then Akron shit the bed the rest of the game, and we lost. DJ Irons, critical interception in the red zone. They covered for us, though. They covered for us.
Irons had a solid game, though. 32 of 43, 383 yards, but 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. How do you have 383 passing yards and 1 touchdown? That's because you're throwing interceptions in the end zone, huh?
Yeah, it just happens. And Garrett, I'm not a Michigan hater. I'm actually a Jim Harbaugh fan. I was a huge Jim Harbaugh fan as a child. Always thought he was a real quarterback, played the game well. But I cannot respect them canceling the UCLA game. I cannot respect that out of conference schedule. If it was up to me and I was on the committee, like I would rank them. I would rank them really far back because that out of conference schedule is fucking a joke. I mean, we call out the SEC teams that do it every year when they add New Mexico State. Michigan became that.
Yeah,
and they deserve that.
That's the second time they've done that too. I feel like
next year, they have ECU, Bowling Green, and UNLV all in Ann Arbor. No Power Fives. They're fucking cowards, man. They're cowards.
They figured it out though. They said, "Screw this. We're taking the SEC scheduling model." And
I love Jim Harbaugh though, man. Everyone that was hating on Harbaugh, we've always been Harbaugh.
Oh fans. We've had Harbaugh's back a long time. Let me say this: I think weather again will be a massive determining factor in that Michigan-Ohio State game because Michigan is built for inclement weather, much more so than Ohio State is. So, if that becomes a thing on November, whatever that is, 20-something, then I think Michigan may have the edge there.
Garrett says, as a fan, I could say the schedule is god awful, but they learned how to make the playoffs. See, but that's my point. That's why I get so furious. Is the system is broken. If you're just trying to do that, it's like them blaming Oregon today. I listened to a podcast with professional college football analysts that were saying, well, Oregon can't make the playoff because of that loss
Reese
to
Davis.
Georgia. Yes, and today Reese Davis, but I'm saying throughout the week, they were saying, well, UCLA can. And I go, now it's not UCLA's fault that Michigan canceled, but they did replace with Alabama State. They could have been a little more aggressive. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait, so Georgia challenges themselves. Basically, it goes that's a road game. That one counts as a fucking true road game.
Yeah, Oregon.
Yes, yeah. Oregon playing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
45 minutes from Athens.
Yeah. 3,000 miles from Oregon.
and it's their coach's first game, their quarterback's first game since transferring in. They had the courage to do that, and they got destroyed. They got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
But kudos for them at least doing it.
Yeah. I obviously
the way for Oregon to make the playoff is not schedule that. Replace that game with Nevada.
Yeah.
And then boom. You're
still
undefeated.
Yeah.
And you're going to the
number 3
CFP
right now. You're number 2 or 3 in the country right now.
So we're not going to reward the team that actually wanted to play the better competition, the reigning national champions in their environment.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking ridiculous.
I
Get a large playoff. 12's not even enough. You gotta go fucking a lot bigger, man.
I almost wish the Pac-12 would fucking catch on. I mean, I hate that like people legitimately justify that as the reason why Oregon should not be in the playoff, or any Pac-12 team or any Big 12 team. But I wish they would though, because then you would have like 5 undefeated teams every year at the end of the season.
No, I don't want to watch that. It's all sucks. Just get a large playoff.
Well, if you
get a large playoff.
No, I get it, and they're doing it. They finally figured
No,
it.
that's not large. You're gonna see the same manipulation. Ole Miss was ahead of TCU.
Well, let's appreciate it for a minute. Don't shit on it completely. Let's just have a little fun with it. Take the heart rate down there, buddy.
I can't. All right. Cincinnati beats SMU. Patty C, is Cincinnati the best team in the AAC? You're a Bearcat fan.
They are, but they are not.
You think they're better than Tulane?
I don't know that they're better.
They play in the Moon Bounce next week. Are they going to beat UCF?
They are going to beat UCF, but that'll be a good game. They could lose that game. They could lose traveling to ECU easily.
No, ECU plays in Nippert.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably win that then. It depends on which Cincinnati team shows up. They're not blowing teams away like they should, but they were in control all game today. I do actually agree with you. I think Tulane's the better team, although that game is being played in Nippert as well.
True.
So
it's going to be cold, too. Last game of the year.
Cincy would be, based on the way they're playing, I would project them to have one loss somewhere on their schedule outside of Arkansas, but it hasn't happened yet. So they just have to keep playing ball. But again, here's an argument of, a team that lost one game by 7 points and on the first game of the season and is now the rest of their season is forgotten.
But the regular season,
it matters.
It's the most important regular season.
It's so entertaining.
Not to Oregon.
Hey,
Oregon.
60 minutes into the season, Cincinnati became an irrelevant team.
Turns out.
And they're going to finish in the top 10.
Minutes, 87 teams were disqualified. Right. Patty C, Duke 45, Miami 21. I mean, were we fucking on this?
Easy peasy.
And I want to talk about this one. We gotta stop and talk about this one because first off, Miami, the first team to have 8 turnovers. The first team to have 8 turnovers, I think, in 5 years or something on offense. Shout out to Josh Gaddis, offensive coordinator of the year last year.
And Mario Cristobal, Dan Lanning, by the way, already making Oregon look better than they ever looked under Cristobal.
Are you starting to believe me now?
I'm starting to believe you.
Well, because you know what the Miami fans were saying? Well, it's his first year. Well, same with fucking Mike Elko. All right? Mike Elko walked into a team that was like, what, 2-10 last year or 3-9?
Yeah.
Got the tar kicked out of him every week.
Yeah, they weren't good.
And let me tell you, he didn't use the portal even. I mean, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 players. But it's hard to just transfer into Duke. He just took that team, and that is coaching right there.
5-3 with an overtime loss by 3 points on the road against Georgia Tech and a 3-point loss against North Carolina. They are almost 7-0, Duke.
Dude.
And meanwhile, Miami, and who caught it? Tyler Van Dyke will be sitting on the bench.
He got injured.
And Jake Garcia. Okay.
He got injured today. But don't get me wrong. He's going to transfer.
Yeah.
He's going to be at like Pitt next year.
And I'll throw for 10,000 yards.
Yeah. Not at Pitt, actually, because Narduzzi.
Yeah. Go wherever Whipple is.
Oh, man. What a lot of fun we're having here. Honestly, though, Patty C, Miami's super excited about the NIL. He was never a good coach, dude. He's never been a good coach.
It's
not
a good look.
Honestly, you can take people that don't know, that aren't very good coaches, and if you put them like Oregon's, their schedule and their talent was better than everybody else's, right?
Yeah.
And they still weren't even that great.
Yeah, they still
like
lose
with
2.
Justin Herbert. When I remember like the first preseason game I saw when he was on the Chargers, I was like, "Whoa, he can do that." Why did I not see that?
He's throwing 8
Why
passes.
did I see that in Eugene?
3 and 4.
Let's look at the remaining
losses
schedule.
to Middle Tennessee.
What's their best win?
Duke. Best win at this point.
Southern Miss with the backup quarterback.
Yeah, maybe Bethune-Cookman. Virginia Tech, Southern Miss, and Bethune-Cookman are their 3 wins. They're
suck. Not going to a bowl game, dude.
They have to go to Charlottesville next week. Do they get that dub?
Yes. No, I don't know. That's a 50-50 game,
that's a
dude.
shit fest again. Florida State, Georgia Tech. No, they're not going bowling. Wait, they got to win 3 more?
They're a terrible team, though, dude. If you watch them, they're terrible. I watched that Virginia Tech game last week, and I just was like, both these teams are terrible.
What happens to the Miami program? This is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it makes Miami go dirty again. It's the cycle that they've tried to do it, I guess, like the semi-clean way for as much as Miami can for like the last 20 years. They finally thought they got their guy. Not going to happen. Urban Meyer. Needs to be at Miami.
Look at Riley Leonard's stats. 13 of 25, 136 and a touchdown, and they win by 20.
13 of 25. Hold on, Riley Leonard. Say it again.
The quarterback for Duke.
Yeah.
13 of 25 for 136 yards and a touchdown.
What did they do? How do they rack up that many points? Let me see. Would they
total yards? It was like an even game. They had 8 turnovers. Their defense, Mike Elko, forced 8 turnovers.
8 turnovers? That is fucking insane. Gosh.
It's called getting it done right there. Shout out to the Hard Rock Stadium.
Alco is a hell of a coach. Alco, what is he going to take?
Dude,
Duke?
if Nebraska was smart, he's right there.
Yeah, that's true.
If anybody was, we saw that. I couldn't believe he took the Duke job.
Yeah, that was a hell of a hire by Duke.
Duke's gonna. You're lucky they're getting rid of the Coastal because they would own the Coastal for the next 5 years.
Right. With the Duke NIL collective, is that going to become a thing that could elevate Duke to, we might have Duke Wake as our annual ACC
Wake
showdown.
don't got that money, but Clawson's got that culture.
That's true.
Patty C. Buffalo beats Toledo. Maurice Lindquist he's on fire right now.
Yeah, he's probably getting lined up for a bigger job in a year or two, if not right away. Teams get desperate when the dominoes start falling during hiring season, so maybe we see him get a quick jump.
Bowling Green beats Central Michigan. I was on it. I was on it, folks. Turn into Ric Flair. I'm the Ric Flair of this shit. All right. Eastern Michigan beats Ball State. Your boys. You thought you could fuck with Chris Creighton?
Was that another?
I told you.
Close win.
I told you. You can't fuck with Chris
20
Creighton.
to 16. Eastern Michigan does what they do. When they're expected to lose close, they win close. When they're expected to win close, they lose close. I should have seen that coming a mile away. We did see it, but I still wasn't going to bet against my boys.
Absolutely phenomenal. All right, folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by No House Advantage. Yes, No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. You can play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $250K in cash. Yes, download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for corrected picks, and climb up that leaderboard for your shot to win big money every single day. You can test your skills against the house and win 20 times the amount of money you enter if you hit all your picks. And it's not just NFL. It's NBA. It's MLB. It's PGA. It's MMA. It's NASCAR. Sign up now with the promo code SGPN at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app in the App Store or Google Play Store to get a first deposit match up to $25. We're also brought to you by Babbel. Yes, if you're like me and there's a foreign language out there that you regret not learning because you were a bozo, well, it's never too late to start, all right? Babbel gives you that mulligan. It's the language learning app that's sold more than 10 million subscriptions, all right? With Babbel, here's what's great, too. I had block scheduling. Block scheduling, trying to learn Spanish, that's not a good idea.
Hour and 45
for people
minutes.
People like me.
Kobe's,
I was like researching what college Armand Gilliam went to after 10 minutes. All right, I was like, where'd the hammer go to college?
Kobe's got the whole Topps collection out, just cycling through.
They call on me. What's going on? I'm talking about the hammer over here. Rest in peace to the great Armand Gilliam. Anyway,
Bet you didn't think you were getting that an Armand Gilliam reference today.
But that's why with Babbel, what's great about Babbel is they have 10-minute lesson plans. All right. So before I dive into the Armand Gilliam stats, I get 10 minutes of Spanish or whatever language you want. And within 3 weeks, they'll have you doing real life conversations. It's great. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective, Patty C. So with Babbel, you can also choose from 14 different languages: Spanish, French, Italian, German. We're working to get Orgeron on there.
Dude, I mean, this is like, we have an ADD generation, right? I can't work out for more than 30 minutes anymore. Like, boom, life just has to move fast. I don't have more than a 15, 20-minute attention span on anything.
Oh, are you talking to me?
I am talking to you. Oh, there it is. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 minutes, that's maxing
great.
it out right there.
That's what I'm saying. You're driving to get ice at the 7-Eleven because you're broke and you don't have some fucking ice machine in your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boom. Pop in some Babbel.
There it is.
All right. You'll go to 7-Eleven saying, "Where's the yellow?" Yellow. Spanish for ice, Patty C.
Look at that. You were paying attention there.
No, I just worked at a lot of Mexican places bartending. Yeah. And I said, "Dude, can you get me ice?" And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You had to learn that. I learned a few Spanish words. They weren't quite so functional.
Anyway, with Babbel, everything is functional. All right. And look, there's so many ways to learn with Babbel. Yeah, that's a new word. Is that a new college? D3?
Functional U.
Functional U. Let's go. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. All right, right now you can get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/SGP. That's BABBEL.com/SGP for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, it's language for life. See what I did there? Next up,
genius.
Hang on.
Really selling it there.
Pause for station ID. And we're back on the college football experience. Reaction show. I'm sweating out. Washington just scored. It's 21-14. I got Cal +8. This is a back and forth affair. You're on this one too.
Yep.
I brought you to the land down under here. Should be.
Hold on. What's the score right now?
We're covering by 1 point because they just scored.
Son of a gun.
It's going to be tense, but that's part of the fun. Patty C, Northern Illinois 17, Ohio 24. Bobcats
getting it done.
Mickey Rourke's son, Curtis Rourke, dominating.
200 yards, right? Or did he?
What did he do? Let's look at what he did.
Let me do it.
I see his stat sheet right here. So he did throw for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. All right. Put that in your pipe and smoke.
The MAC. I want to go to the MAC standings. Is it the same thing that I would expect it to be, which is
chaos,
an absolute crapshoot?
Which is what college football would be if everyone played the same amount of away games.
It's true.
Oh, see what I did there?
It would be.
See what I fucking did there?
Yeah. Less of a very predictable situation every single year. I think here's what I think happens. I think people get used to the predictability of it, and it becomes a comfort zone for them. They say, "Oh, I don't want to see these smaller teams. I want to see Ohio State. I want to see Alabama." Right? And it happens even if it's subconscious. When Alabama's about to lose to a team they shouldn't lose to, like Texas earlier this year, they don't let it happen. They're like, "Oh, this is going to fuck up our whole structure of what college football is, and so we can't let this happen yet." Syracuse, Clemson today, bullshit calls. We all see it, and we just go, "Okay, yeah, we it can't deviate too far from like what we already predicted." That's fucking terrible.
What's Jerry Tarkanian's quote, Patty C? Oh, Kentucky got caught cheating in basketball. That means Cleveland State's going to serve a 5-year ban.
Yeah. Fucking pathetic.
He sued the NCAA and won because he was fucking right. All right?
Exactly.
He was always right.
When someone actually like puts the bullshit aside and applies logic to the situation, people have to fucking admit, that there is a ton of bullshit. And that is the case right now. And what we are requesting you to do as what do we got in the
I'm
chat?
sorry, Nagel's making me laugh. Gilliam went to UNLV. Armand Gilliam, the hammer. Go Scratch Cats, baby. Let's go.
There you go. Speaking of fucking who's the guy at UNLV? We're just
the hammer, Armand Gilliam.
No, the coach though.
Tarkanian.
Yeah.
He coached him.
Well, it's a very UNLV episode. They got their ass kicked by Notre Dame today.
No, they covered.
It's true.
They covered. Actually, went fantastic.
Yeah,
they didn't get their ass
we called that exactly.
Yeah.
What was it? 27.
I'll get to that game. Yeah, they only lost by 23.
We all called that one.
Boom, got it done. Patty C. Rice won 42-41 in overtime.
That's one you might have
stats?
even called the exact score on too. I have to go back to last week's episode, but I feel like you had.
Dude, I'm seeing the numbers, man. All right.
McCaffrey, what were you saying?
I'm seeing the numbers.
No, I know. I know. You're telling me that.
Easy Ed McCaffrey's son plays for Rice. Dylan McCaffrey.
Yeah, he had a nice day.
Dude, he had a beast day. Rice continues to win. Shout out to the Owls. Who are 4-3 and might be contending for a CUSA championship.
10 receptions, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. Good for third leading receiver for the day.
Making daddy proud. Patty C. West Virginia 10, Texas Tech 48. Is Neal Brown going to get fired?
That is not a very good look for him. What's their record?
He beat
right
Baylor last week, though.
Wait, was that at home though?
Yeah.
West Virginia is one of the like most drastic.
Well, those road trips are insane.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
like-
the distance is.
That's like Alabama playing in fucking Fiji. You know what I mean?
Yeah, talk about Morgantown being already a hornet's nest, and then having to travel a long distance to go there, and then West Virginia on the flip side having to go all
Can
the
you
way.
even fly direct into Lubbock, or do you have to like fly into like El Paso and then take like a 6-hour bus
Right.
ride?
You have a 24 hours of travel straight.
What's the runway? Just the fucking desert?
Yeah.
It's like
Fucking
Indiana
Con
Jones.
Air,
You're
yeah.
in a prop plane just coming in.
They are. I feel like West Virginia is prone for 500 every year just based on those dynamics. 3-4 right now.
It's a damn shame. They could win the coast.
Oh, home game against TCU though next week. Homecoming for West Virginia
In Morgantown?
in Morgantown.
Oh, that's it.
Could TCU take the first
That's
loss?
it. I don't even know what that line is. Let's go. Let's
Money
go.
line.
Let's go.
Couple more tough schedule. He is going to get fired. Remaining games: TCU at home, at Iowa State, hosting Oklahoma, hosting Kansas State, and at Oklahoma State. There's probably at least 3 losses in there, which puts him at 5-7. It's year what for Neal Brown? Is it only year 3 for him?
I think it's 4. Is it 3?
I think it's 3 or 4. I don't know.
I think it's 4.
I'll double
Anyone in the
check.
chat, Neal Brown lovers, let me know. Wisconsin 35, Purdue 24, and they even like, this was 21-3 at halftime. It was 21-0 in the first quarter, Patty C. Wisconsin was up 21-0 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter.
Just housing him. This is year 4, 5-7, 6-4, 6-7, and then 5-7. He's out. Wisconsin is your boy, Jim Leonard,
man.
the man for the job. Are they going to give it to him?
What's the remaining schedule? They're going to end up with that's going to be the one that makes Ohio State's win look good, because they're going to end up
They're gonna,
7-6.
Yeah, rally.
They're going to win the fucking. I don't know.
My Big Ten West prediction of Wisconsin may still be alive. Illinois though is clearly in the driver's seat at this point. We would think, but their remaining schedule is hosting Maryland. That's a win. At Iowa, I don't know. Is that a win?
That one, I have no idea.
Yeah,
Maryland, yeah, that's
Maryland's a win.
Yeah. In Madison, yeah.
At Iowa, that's it's probably a win at this point.
I have no idea.
At Nebraska,
If I was Iowa, I would punt on first down. If I was Wisconsin, I would punt on second down. All right, you're right. Do one run.
Hey, I don't know if that was you or Noah that put in the highlight of Graham Mertz flinging it toward the corner of the end.
That was Noah.
That was
Noah Beanick doing great work.
Always shredding it
Legend.
on the
True
videos.
legend.
Great
All right?
man. But yeah, that was a hell of a throw. Graham Mertz coming into his own here. They're sitting at 4-4. They're gonna finish 8-4. You heard it here first.
You think they went out?
I think they went out. Hosting Maryland.
Win.
Okay. At Iowa. Okay. At Nebraska.
Win.
Win. Hosting Minnesota. What's Tanner Morgan's status?
He's 37 years old and he's in college.
It's just aching. He's out every week on.
He looks like fucking Jeff Van Gundy.
They haven't been winning the big games. If Wisconsin can gain some momentum in the next couple of weeks, then I expect them to win that game at home.
That would be nice.
8-4.
UTSA takes down North Texas, but I had to sweat this. I mean, I didn't hit this. I lost money, a decent amount of money on this one. Come on, Cal, tackle. But the Roadrunners meet their way to another win for my season. See, that was the good thing, is that even though I lost the bet, the over is still looking very strong. They're 6-2 in their remaining schedule. Patty C. They have a bye week, then at UAB.
UAB is the big one, but they can afford to lose 2.
I would argue the Rice one is probably the biggest one left.
That's true.
UAB though, but then home to La Tech, at Rice, and home to UTEP.
Jeff Traylor has got to be.
Hey, Colorado, maybe you give him a call. Just an
know.
idea. Just an idea.
Louise,
Instead of look, Carl Durrell was a fun story, the wide receivers coach of the Dolphins. Let's stick to college football, all right? Let's hire someone that's actually, maybe proven. I understand it's not a sexy hire to go hire someone that's dominating the FCS like Chris Kleiman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can we just think like that? Like, hey, this person's coached college football.
Well, especially at a place like Colorado. I mean, I understand Florida if you're dominating at the Group of 5 level, like for who the fuck is their head coach? I'm drawing
Billy Napier.
Yeah. You kind of want to get a guy if you're Florida that's a little more proven than that. But if you're Colorado, right, and you just want to take it, like you can choose between a mid-level Power 5 coach or a high-level Group of 5 coach, I think that's when you go after. At Florida, you just should expect to go after a high-level Power 5 coach. At Colorado, you're not going to get that guy.
Isn't Florida 3-11 in their last 14 SEC games?
Yes. I don't know what your point is. They should still expect to be able to get a good
Just trying
coach.
to smear them when I can.
No, yeah, okay.
You know?
I'm on, or I can't talk right now. Let me drink a little
chug
more.
some of that beer. Northwestern 24, Maryland 31. This was a game. This was 24-24 with like 2 minutes left. Now Talia did not play. Brandon Sullivan and Billy Edwards were the quarterbacks going off. It's a little Sully versus Edwards matchup. Both these teams. I mean, Maryland's gonna. They're gonna. I took the over on 5.5 wins this year. I need them to beat Rutgers because if not, we are not going to hit that.
Do you think Shiano's team is rounding into form here?
No.
You think it's horseshit?
I think they both suck. I think even Maryland is not a good team.
Let me see what Rutgers has done the past couple weeks, though.
Let me ask you this, though. This is what I mean, though.
Yeah.
If Maryland played Clemson, what would you set that line at? Non-knowing that people that Clemson.
If I'm being honest,
like if you're watching both teams, not the history of Clemson, the history of Maryland, based on what you've seen this year.
Clemson minus 12.5.
Really?
Yeah.
This year?
This year. Because I think Maryland sucks.
I would set it at Clemson minus 3.
Really?
Maryland looked pretty good against Michigan.
That's true. They perform well. I'm just not a believer. I'm
not either. But that's my point. Is like you're taking the stigma of Clemson with it of past 5 years. Really good.
Well, Clemson has won the games that they've needed to this year.
They have one good win.
They beat NC State, who's better than Maryland. They beat them by 10.
I disagree. I think Maryland's better than NC State.
I disagree.
NC State's what is their win? Look at NC State and tell me what's impressive.
NC State's 5-2. They beat your ECU Pirates. I don't care if you disagree with how close the game was. They beat them. They beat Florida State. They did get worked by Syracuse, but yeah, Texas. They beat Texas Tech. That's a decent win. They beat them by 13. UConn and Charleston Southern, okay, trash on their schedule.
They're not,
but they dominated 55-3 and 41-10. They're a good team. They're better than Maryland.
I think Maryland's better than NC State.
Disagree. But
Devin Leary sucks, dude.
And he's hurt. But anyway, I guess he wasn't against Clemson.
And he wasn't against ECU.
Clemson beat Wake Forest.
No, that's the best win. That's the only good win that means something to me. Well, I guess the Syracuse, but
yeah, I'm not saying
that was a little Easter egg.
Sure. I'm not
the
saying
bunny rabbit gave him.
I'm not saying Clemson's great by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm saying
I think Clemson is solid. I think they're good.
I'm still favoring Clemson to beat Maryland.
I think they slap them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Maryland's good.
But you agree Maryland's better than Florida State, right?
They're about the same.
Really? What do you watch when you come here?
Florida State. Let's see. They beat a 5-2 LSU team that has been kind of slapping some decent teams around lately.
Blocked extra point.
I guess Tennessee worked them, but Florida State whooped up on Boston College. It doesn't mean anything. They should have beaten NC State. Played Wake within 10.
Maryland's better than Florida State this year, dude.
I disagree.
They're just way more talented. When you watch them, Raheem Jarrett's a 5-star wide receiver. You watch that.
That's the only 5-star they have on their entire roster.
All their wide receivers. Talia is way better than their quarterback. They're just a better team.
They have a better quarterback. I'll give you that.
They have a better roster.
I don't know. I'm not sold on Maryland. I think that
I'm not either. I'm just saying they're better than Florida State.
Let me look at Maryland's.
You think fucking Terrell Buckley's still playing for Florida State?
You tell me this. Maryland, that the Buffalo win is actually kind of impressive. Charlotte doesn't mean anything. SMU, decently impressive win, I guess. Only by 7 though. Michigan State doesn't mean anything. Lost to Purdue. Barely beat Indiana. Barely beat Northwestern.
Yeah,
they suck. They're a counterfeit 6-2.
I do agree that. I do agree, but they're better than Florida State, and the talent jumps off screen.
Maryland will lose their next 3 games.
I agree, and then they'll beat Rutgers and go 6-6 and hit the over for me.
7-5 at that point. So
no, what's their
6-2 right now? Hell of a job by Loxley.
I was on top of it.
That's more wins in this season than he had in the first 15 years of his career.
Patty C, the airport. Whew. The airport. They're not fucking around. They went to the clit, and let me tell you, 34-15. Put some respect on Mike McIntyre's name. They're 3-4.
Mikey Mack getting it done, making our coaching rankings have a little validity.
Let's go. And Charlotte, fire Will Healy, hire Nick Dant, and let's go. Ole Miss 20, LSU 45.
Ole Miss 20, LSU 40. That was a pretty good game, and LSU pulled away at what point? Fourth quarter, or was it a little earlier than that?
I want to say it was the third, probably. No, I think maybe the late third, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 17. It was 20. Actually, at halftime, it was 2017 Ole Miss, and Ole Miss got shut out the second half.
Yeah. LSU, if they beat Florida State like they probably should have.
But if you say that, if we do should haves, they should have lost to Auburn.
That's true. So they're probably correctly 5-2 at this point. But pretty good, pretty decent.
I that's one of my win total locks. I need one more win.
Let me see LSU's remaining schedule.
I just need one win from the Tigers. We Tigers.
No, they're gonna get that. No, hold on. The number
they still play UAB, right?
They're 6-2. The number was 6.5 or 7.
I gotta double check. It's either 6.5 or 7.
Okay.
I think it was 6.5. I think it was 6.5.
They get a bye and then host Alabama. Alabama also gets a bye. Any chance LSU gets that done in 2 weeks in Baton Rouge?
Sure. Alabama's not the fucking greatest team
Alabama
ever.
is still better than
I agree,
LSU.
but they got to hit the road.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun environment. LSU is still alive for the SEC West, if I'm not mistaken, after that win over Ole Miss, right?
Because they only lost to Tennessee and Florida State, right? So Tennessee, if they beat Bama.
They're in the driver's seat of the SEC West.
Shit, let's go. Let's get the family together.
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started. And I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana.
He didn't say delighted. He should have said it. We're delighted.
Road trips to Arkansas and A&M within the final 3 weeks of the season, though.
They'll lose to Arkansas. They can beat A&M.
They'll lose at least one of those road games. They are not winning the SEC West, unfortunately. But how big of a shit talk would that be?
Oh, that'd be great.
For LSU, for Brian Kelly, really, especially with Notre Dame being meh. All the Notre Dame haters, especially when he lost that first game, were like, fuck Brian Kelly. And you got to hate Brian Kelly. Let's not act like we like him, but it's kind of fun to root for him. I
don't know. I actually root for misery. I like it when he gets pissed off, and the fact he quit on 2 teams that were undefeated pretty much. I mean, come on.
No, I like rooting for – it's the same reason I kind of like rooting for Dan Snyder, because it's such an obvious guy to piss everyone off, and everyone does.
It's like Ric Flair.
Hate
it's
him.
like why we root for Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
on board.
But a much less likable version of Ric Flair.
Patty C, Memphis 28, Tulane 38.
It's like Bob Backlund. That's Brian Kelly.
Tulane's going to play Cincinnati. That'll be interesting. And last game of the season, assuming what is Tulane's upcoming schedule? Don't they get UCF coming up? So Tulane is at Tulsa next week. Dangerous. You know who can fuck up? Tulsa is the strangest team in college football for like the past 20 years.
Yeah.
That's going to be the one they lose.
Tulsa against who? Sorry?
Tulane at Tulsa next week.
It very well could.
That could be the one.
Someone pull up the history on that. I'm going to get that going here in a second. Watch this be one that one of the teams absolutely dominates.
Dude, Tulane's remaining schedule is actually kind of tough. At Tulsa, home to UCF, home to SMU, at Cincy.
Tulane's?
Yeah.
That's a
But they don't have a loss yet, so they can even afford one loss because they'd have the tiebreaker against Cincy if they win at Cincy.
Oh, that's true. Let's see.
Go.
5-13 all time against Tulsa. Losers of 2 in a row. Tulane against Tulsa, but prior to that, 3 in a row. I don't know. This is a different Tulane team, though. This is like, I hate to say it, and I was jokingly posting them as a playoff team online today, but they might be the best team in the American. They might be the best group of 5 team, period. And it's because their defense is friggin' awesome. They have a legit awesome defense, which they're kind of fun. I'm for it. We know that New Orleans University is making their announcement when? November 7th, you said?
November 7th, New Orleans. University, trying to get a football program.
We want to see Tulane.
If you know
versus...
any students there, text them and say yes. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but we believe in football. We believe that every university.
We are believers in
even like
the sport
even
of football.
Strayer University or what's another one of the like fucking
University of Phoenix definitely deserves
all those online ones need to start a football program. Patty C.
You know how legit those programs would be, by the way.
Larry Fitzgerald, didn't he go to? He does the commercial for the online one.
That's right.
They already got a wide
But they
receiver.
have like 50, like
They already got a head coach.
a million students. Just take your best 50 athletes and
Yeah,
bring them on.
Let's go. Patty C. UCLA lost. Is UCLA going to play for the Pac-12 championship?
Oh, they're hosting USC. That really doesn't matter. USC will probably beat
Their
them.
schedule's pretty fucking easy. When did Washington score?
Is Washington driving right now or Cal
We
driving?
need this touchdown bad.
Let me see UCLA's remaining schedule. I would assume though that they're going to use.
I got it right here. Stanford in Pasadena. Stanford's playing better.
That's a win though.
At Arizona State.
Okay,
It's a win.
it's a win probably.
Home to Arizona.
I think they could lose one of those three, but if we're going 50-50 or if we're taking each game at face value, they'll win all three of those.
Home to USC.
They lose that, I think.
And then the old UC battle. They go to Cal. They're fucking over Cal. I called for that one.
They're losing
Cal's
again.
going to be the one to get them.
Yeah,
But
they're
Cal's offense come on. Hire somebody. They got to be a little bit
They
better.
have surprised me, UCLA, so maybe they keep surprising me, but USC meanwhile at Arizona, that's a win. Hosting Cal, that's a win. Hosting Colorado, that's a win. And at UCLA, that's basically going to be the trip for the Pac-12 championship right there. That'll be fun. We need to go to that game. It's not rivalry weekend.
I don't support games at the Rose Bowl.
We are 3 minutes from the Rose
I will
Bowl.
never give them money ever again. All right.
Just because you can't get in.
No.
Just because your name's
Those
on a list.
bastards, They put you can't even root for football. Patty C. Texas 34, Oklahoma State 41.
Well, how great would it be to go into the Rose Bowl and root for USC though? That's also
I
actually.
can't root for USC.
Yeah, that's true.
I just can't. I can't do it. 34-41. Texas loses in Stillwater. Patty C. What's Texas' final record going to be? They're 5-3 currently. They're 0-2 on the road. The good news is they only have 2 more road games. So guess what? They only play 4 away games. Isn't it going to be funny when they go 0-4 on the road?
That would be hilarious.
I really think that's a strong chance, especially if Jalen Daniels comes back.
What are the odds of that happening?
What do you mean?
Of Jalen Daniels coming back
No, they said he might be back by November.
by November?
Yeah, sometime in November.
Okay, so that's their next game.
No. Their next game's at K-State.
Yeah,
They
which
play
is November
at
5th.
Kansas. Jalen Daniels plays for Kansas.
Oh,
They
well,
play on
I'm
November
looking at
November
Texas.
19th.
I'm looking at Texas right now. Okay. So they got to go to. Wait, Kansas's next game is in November as well.
What the fuck are you talking about over there?
2022
I'm
Kansas.
talking about Texas playing at Kansas. That's on November 19th. Jalen Daniels might be back by then.
Okay, Jalen Daniels will be back for Kansas's next game. But yes, in any
No, I
event.
didn't say that.
Okay, well, whatever. In any event, I think Texas, if Jalen Daniels is back, could definitely lose that. Even if he's not, Jason Bean playing well enough that could be a very good game. That game is in Lawrence. Do you think that makes a difference?
Yeah.
I don't think Lawrence is one of the places where home field advantage is a huge factor.
I mean, they've been selling it out. So, yeah, I do think.
Okay.
What's Texas' final record, Patty C?
Let me take a look at this.
5-3 right now. Ready for it?
Yeah.
They get a bye week
Yeah.
at Kansas State.
Loss.
Home to TCU.
Loss.
At Kansas.
Win.
Home to Baylor.
At best 2-2 in that final stretch. Probably 1-3. So they probably finish 6-6. And does that put Sark on a hot seat? It's got to, right?
We just got a crucial 4th and 7 touchdown by Cal.
Boom.
We're still alive. Yes. No, because he's got the number 1 recruiting class. That's going to be interesting to watch the whole Quinn Ewers and Lon Chair Manning's son
Arch
or nephew.
QB battle.
Yeah, well, one's going to transfer.
Yeah.
There's no way both are sitting on the bench next year. I mean, there's no way one of them sitting on the bench next year.
They are kind of mirror images. I think Arch probably has some better wheels and maybe a little more prototypical size. But I don't know that he has any better arm talent. Arch is probably the better talent. Let's be honest.
Not according to Jim Harbaugh.
That's true.
Marshall, 26. James Madison, 12.
I knew we were going to have to get to this at some point. Look, we're banged up. Todd Centeio gets announced not playing 3.5 minutes before the game. It's like, come on. People need to bet. Fucking, who's that? Kurt Signetti, deserves to be reprimanded for that alone. Inform, I guess if he's playing the game where he doesn't want to inform the other team of what his plans were. It didn't work either way. Quarterback threw 4 interceptions, 13 to 35 passing. Not very good. We had the lead 12-2 early on. They went on to score 24 consecutive points. And we are now still winless against Marshall all time. 2 straight losses. Times are tough in Harrisburg.
They're the real FCS gods that came up. Marshall Thundering
Get the
Herd,
fuck
right?
out of here. Look.
Beating one in the South Bend, the Golden Dome.
Look.
Told fucking Newt Rockney to kiss my ass.
In 20 years or 30 years almost that they've been at the FBS level, we've already kind of achieved their ceiling. So JMU, look, with Todd Centeio, we're a different team, obviously, and we're going to bounce back. But it was tough.
BYU 14, the Kings of Virginia, Liberty 41.
They may be the state championship.
Huge strip club freeze. Patty C, you want to talk about a team that deserves to be in the playoff potentially? Okay, they played 4 away games already.
Yeah.
They have a couple more coming, right? They only lost to Wake by 1 because they went for 2. This BYU win was way more impressive than the way Notre Dame beat BYU. Baylor couldn't beat BYU.
I mean, beating ODU, beating UAB, beating BYU, and losing close against Wake.
Don't forget they beat Southern Miss.
That's true.
Southern Miss beat Tulane, buddy.
That's true.
Talk to me. Liberty,
They
Flaming Libs are gonna fucking they should be in the national championship.
get a bye, and then they go on the road to Arkansas. That would be, I mean, here's the thing that really screws Liberty is I believe, not that it really matters for the playoff chances, and I know that you'll say it's all the same anyway if you're not in the playoff. But, and you're right, but it would help their program to get to a New Year's 6 bowl game.
Does it?
Yes, I think it does.
Did it help Western Michigan's?
Probably.
Or Northern Illinois?
I mean, look, when you're in the MAC, you can't. You're 500.
Did it help Memphis's? Because the Silver Hair is about to get fired.
I don't know. I'm sure it did, though.
I don't think it helps. I think you're under the illusion of this system that is just nonsense.
I think you're out of your
They
mind.
just take a couple extra $1 million.
If you think having
spread it around
a
the
good
university
year and having the exposure,
they fucking have a little parade or something. You know what I mean? They get, instead of drinking water, they're drinking Gatorade. You know what I mean?
Look, it would be a big moment for Liberty to get, especially because they would have a decent chance of winning in the bowl game since they're a pretty darn good team. But they're not a group of 5, and I think that New Year's 6 spot is reserved for group of 5 teams. They're an independent.
Hating on the
So they're going to be playing in the fucking Chimichanga Bowl.
Hating on the independents as long as it's not Notre Dame, huh?
Yeah, exactly. BYU gets quasi love.
If they played Notre Dame, they would beat Notre Dame this year.
Liberty?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Boston College 15, Wake Forest 43. I told you this. I think Colorado might be better than Boston College.
It's not exactly saying a ton, but I think you did say that.
Boston College offensive line is so fucking bad. I almost feel Jerkowski should have transferred. Zay Flowers should have took the $1 million and transferred.
Why should they have transferred, though? Hafley was having them trend in the right direction. He was playing well under Hafley.
Because they knew they had no O-line. And you're going to end up...
I guess he didn't read the tea leaves.
You're going to end up, I should have transferred to UConn. For a real winner, Jim Moore. All right, let's go.
Are you encouraging players to do transfer to better programs?
Yeah, like East Carolina. All right, and check us out. If you transfer to East Carolina and give me your Venmo, I will send you a college experience T-shirt. All right, how's that for bargaining?
Look at this guy.
All right,
his own NIL collective.
Let's go. All right, folks. I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Fubo TV. If If you watch football, you need Fubo TV. Fubo TV gives you complete coverage of college and pro football with NFL Red Zone plus games in 4K at no extra charge. There's over 100 channels of live sports and entertainment for a fraction of the price of cable. You can watch it on all your devices. Never miss a game or an episode of your favorite shows with that included cloud-based DVR. Plus, there's no contract. There's no commitment. You can cancel at any time. Right now, you can try Fubo TV for free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month. Just go to FuboTV.com/SGP. That's FUBOTV.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by OddsTrader. OddsTrader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to assure yourself that you get the best deal possible. So go to oddstrader.com/BlueWire. OddsTrader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. All right, we are back. Patty C, Georgia Southern, 28. Old Dominion, 23. And shout out to Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell Furman Jr., who texted me right now. We gave out a winning parlay, Buffalo money line, Duke money line, and South Carolina money line on the morning show, which is correct.
Boom.
We are legends.
So Georgia Southern improves to 2-2.
Are they going to win the Sun Belt?
I think they're the best team.
I think Troy is.
I would have to.
Troy, South Alabama, Georgia Southern, and App, and Coastal, I guess, all still in there. I got no idea. That conference is great, though.
It is great.
I want season tickets there, all the teams.
Let me see something real quick. 295 points for Georgia Southern. The most prolific offense in the Sun Belt Conference, Georgia Southern.
I got to tell you about it. I mean, that was a good game, but Georgia Southern gets it done. I think I also played the under, and I think we just lost on that. I think we all took the under on Southern.
All your shade on
Clay Helton's best coach.
Really what it comes down to is you hating big-time programs.
No, you know what it is?
Him going under 500 a couple years at USC.
He has like 10 guys that are 7th-year seniors, and he also brought in a pretty good transfer class. That's what I mean. And him at USC.
Oh, they are fucking talented.
Yeah.
They are very talented.
But I'm saying, like, that's the new thing in college football. Like, that I think is crazy. Like with people with Cristobal saying, like, first off, they did bring in a shit ton of transfers. And guess what? He can't coach them.
Yeah.
Or they're not talented. Something's not right. Their talent evaluation, it didn't work out. But you look at a lot of these teams. Georgia Southern's a perfect example.
Is Helton the OC at I mean, I guess he always put up pretty good passing numbers at USC too. But it looks on a different level at Georgia Southern right now. Like, it looks like they're ahead of the defense.
Well, no, I think some of that is how many 7-year guys you got? They're like a fucking, they're like NFL. A USFL team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's more accurate.
They're the Pittsburgh Maulers. All right. Shout out to them though. And I was wrong on my season under play. All right. And I think I owe our friend, he's going to have to come on the show as a guest appearance for me being wrong. I'm drawing a blank, and I sound really bad right now because I can't remember his name. But I've been drinking for 12 hours, so I hope you forgive me. All right. Next up, we have Western Michigan 16, Miami, Ohio 10. Jack's salad tosser or whatever. He got it done. 16-10. Actually, I don't even think he played when I was watching this. It was Trayson Bourget. Bourgat.
Miami, Ohio. I got to pull that up.
No. They lost to Western Michigan.
Brett Gabbert. That's Blaine's younger brother.
Yeah.
How the hell is it? It's a big age difference. That's who, what's his name reminds me of a little bit. Garrett Schrader reminds me of Blaine Gabbert. Big, mobile, right?
Terrible. But big, mobile, terrible. Shout out. It's a good win for Western Michigan. They needed it. They were struggling. Patty C, Florida Atlantic 21, UTEP 24. I like UTEP getting good. Let's go, Dana Dimmel.
What was the final on that?
UTEP. Well, I was on the money line on this. This is another dog that I hit.
24-21. They got the
they're
dub.
3.5-point dogs.
Is Willie Taggart just a shitty coach?
Yes. Yeah. When you're the most penalized coach like 7 years in a row.
When you're the most talented team and you lose to a pretty mediocre UTEP team.
All right. Good night, Garrett. Appreciate you hopping in the chat. Vanderbilt 14, Missouri 17. Wow. It was close. It was that close for Drinkowitz to be like completely on a seat of fire. Instead, Missouri survives to fight another day.
What's his record now? What's Missouri?
3-4.
he should still be on a seat of fire. Meanwhile, Clark Lee, or how do you pronounce that? Is it Leah?
No, Clark Lee.
Lee.
Yeah.
He, scrapping, improving week to week.
Yeah.
Is Vandy in line for some improvement win totals wise? Who is it? I think Bobby Bowden. I read that quote. You go through phases as a coach. You lose big, you lose little, you win big. They are in a transition period from losing big to losing little, I think.
You cheat little, cheat middle, you cheat big, and you start winning national championships.
And then you cheat Bowden,
yeah.
and that's its own category.
Yes. Patty C, Hawaii 13, Colorado State 17, and don't look now. The Rams are rolling again. The Rams are rolling. Winners of 2 of 3. They almost knocked off Utah State last week. Is it easy to see that good old tide turn, Patty C?
No, let's admit it. You
It's
were on
easy to see
Hawaii.
a tide turn.
I was, but they covered also.
Okay.
They covered.
What was that?
6.
6. Nice.
They lost by 4.
Colorado State, a long trip for Hawaii. It was a hard ticket from Hawaii to Colorado Springs. Or where were they? They're not. That's Air Force Colorado Springs, right?
Yeah, this is Fort Collins.
Fort
Collins, buddy.
All the same to me. Fucking bumfuck Egypt. Look, they suck, but that is a good win. That's
I didn't lock them. Nick locked them.
A win's a win.
Nick locked them over 5.5, but it's still alive. Still alive.
Hey, scrapping and clawing.
Stanford 15, Arizona State 14. I know this game coming into Saturday was awful. I know it was on Pac-12 Network where you had a better chance of watching. I don't know, just you better chance of watching. I don't know, what's something that's hard to get
volleyball, women's volleyball.
Yeah. It's really hard to watch the Pac-12 Network, and this game there was like 400 people there, if even, maybe 47 people there. But it was actually a highly entertaining game.
Last 2 weeks, Stanford beats Notre Dame 16-14, Arizona State 15-14.
Watch out, UCLA.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play it again.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
They're not as bad, though, because I'm telling you, they played USC tougher than that score indicates. They had some bad calls go against them in that game, and then they should have beat Oregon State.
Yeah. I mean, even the Oregon and Washington scores aren't outrageously bad.
And that's a tough back-to-back
18-point losses in both of those.
It's back-to-back away. You're getting – see, they give you Oregon on the second back end?
Yeah.
They would never do that to USC
Yeah.
or Oregon. Obviously, Oregon couldn't play Oregon, but they would never do that to those guys.
Yeah.
You gotta see the numbers, Petty. See, I'm in the matrix.
I see it.
All right?
I agree with you. UCLA, Washington, Utah, Cal, and BYU remaining on the schedule. Probably not going to be a pretty finish for Stanford, but glad they were able
They
to
schedule 11 Power Fives every year.
Yeah.
It's never going to be a great finish. All right. Just an idea.
You're completely destroyed.
You gotta play the Michigan game. All right. Schedule Azusa Pacific.
Yeah.
Schedule Cal Poly, not UC Davis, because UC Davis and Dan Hawkins are solid.
Yeah.
Schedule Nevada. And then you play your Pac-12 schedule and you pay a lot of money to the commissioner, Klavikoff, to not have back-to-back away games.
There you go.
Which, if you are looking, I believe USC doesn't play back-to-back away games.
That's right. And
Oregon doesn't play back-to-back away games.
You don't play your first road. You play one road game in the first 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And you start off 6-1. You have all the momentum.
And then you're in the top 25. You're recruiting better. You got to understand this fucking this sham. This is a sham.
Play the game.
Arkansas State 18, Louisiana 38. NC Nick sprinkled fairy dust on me because he locked up Arkansas State +7. And then right before the kickoff, I said, you know what? I think he's right. Bastard. He'll have to answer. Patty C, this is what I was talking about. Southern Miss 20, Texas State 14. You're fighting Jake Spavital's? Oh, man, this was heartbreak. Okay, so Texas State went on a long drive, took the lead, 14-13, with like a minute left. They have Southern Miss, who does not have a quarterback. They're using Frank Gore. They're using this backup, right? They have him at a 4th and 7 or something. Southern Miss completes like a 75-yard touchdown. They win the game.
I want to see Frank Gore's stat line.
How long was that touchdown? 53 yards. 53 yards. Insane. 32 seconds left. It looked like they had the win. Great game.
Let me
Shout out to
see.
the Sun Belt. Sun Belt's better.
I mean, Southern Miss they are turning that program.
yes,
I'm glad to see them.
Will Hall wears a tie
4-3.
like a 1930s coach. It's fantastic. We got to bring that style back.
It was their quarterback is Zach Wilkie. Shout out to Colin Wilkie.
There's a big play in this game right here, Patty C.
18 of 25, 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Frank Gore Jr. Meantime, 91 rushing yards. So
shout out to Frank Gore Jr.
Southern Miss getting it together.
They're running it here. Cal doesn't have a timeout. Smart. They kicked the ball. We just need them not to throw a pick six.
Yeah.
Fresno State 41, New Mexico 9. Tedford's got them playing again.
Yeah.
Boise 19, Air Force 14. Boise's gonna win. That's what's hilarious.
Air Force had their chances.
We thought Boise was down. Even in a down year, Boise's learned. I mean, the fact they fired Tim Plow and got rid of the air raid and started running the ball over, they're back to their roots.
Found their identity.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Certain teams. It is funny how certain teams have to do that. Like Harbaugh had to do that. He had to say we're not doing this little high fly shit. Someone in the chat earlier said that was Harbaugh's offense, not Gaddis's offense. I agree. It strongly resembled his prior offenses. They did have some more athletes than we're typically seen on the edges in a Harbaugh offense, but it was a Harbaugh offense with decent quarterback play. Boise, the same thing. They have to run the ball. They can't go to that thing.
Got to do their style. Bama 30, Mississippi State 6. Surprised they only scored 30, but Mississippi State killed me in the first 2 drives of the game. Absolutely killed me.
Yeah, they don't look good offensively. They're struggling, which is obviously
but they got into the red zone.
Coach Leach's forte.
And then Leach is crazy. He went for a 4th and 4 on the first drive. It's like you're at the 8-yard line.
Hey,
sorry.
Go big or go home.
Kick the field goal there.
No,
take a little lead. Feel good about yourself. Get a little confidence for Will Rogers State Park. Minnesota 17, Penn State 45. I told you.
That was -4.
Easy money.
It was a 28-point win.
Doesn't matter if it's Tanner Morgan, Stanley Morgan. It doesn't matter. All right.
Easy peasy. Now let's look at Penn State's remaining schedule real quick. I know we probably got to move here, but Penn State sitting at 6-1, bye week, and then hosting Ohio State. No, not a bye week. Hosting Ohio State next week.
Yeah.
And then at Indiana, hosting Maryland, at Rutgers, and hosting Michigan State. If they beat Ohio State, then we may be looking at a 3-way tie in the Big Ten at the end of the season. Coin flip on who give me a prediction if that happens. 3-11-1 Big Ten East teams: Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Who's the biggest brand, and who gets the nod?
Penn State is the asked out. It's going to go Ohio State and Michigan,
and whoever wins that one outright.
And Ohio. And isn't it ironic that Penn State played more away games than them?
It is.
Funny. Patty C. Texas A&M 24, South Carolina 30. Beamer Magic, I subscribed.
It's official.
We hit that parlay. Me and Terrell Furman Jr.
Admit that he is doing some things down in South Carolina. You think that they're not a threat to beat Clemson?
No, you know who they're like?
Who's that?
Maryland.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
But they're better than Florida State because I see the talent. Florida State doesn't got the guys.
Well, obviously you have Spencer Rattler. That's a dude. They fill out a stadium pretty damn
Charlie
impressive.
Ho is at fucking Alabama, bro.
It's true. I mean, Maryland has a quarterback. I'll give you that.
Interception. Oh, we got a pass interference. We're still alive. UCF 13, East Carolina 34. Is East Carolina the best team in the nation? If they had a kicker.
What's their record now?
ECU is now sitting there at 5-3.
Yeah, they could. I mean,
dude, we should be. Honestly, we should have only lost the Tulane game. Tulane was the only game. Like, we were better than NC State. We missed the kicks. We were better than Navy. We missed the kicks. Tulane's the only one we lost to. Like,
ECU,
straight up lost to.
Still very much alive though for the American Championship, right?
Not really.
Just
we need some losses. We need some losses.
Yeah.
Colorado 9, Oregon State 42. Beavs 1 win away from my over. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, he drops it. Kansas State didn't cover for us. We touched on that. How about this? Louisville 24, Pitt 10.
Yeah, we pointed out that
How about your boy Pat Narduzzi?
Pitt
Pat
without
Narduzzi, if you're starting a brand new team, Narduzzi or Cristobal, who do you hire? I think I go Narduzzi.
I think track record, you got to go Narduzzi, but they're kind of the same dude. Let's be honest.
Look at that pass. Hits the receiver right in the hands, drops it. Wyoming 28, Utah State 14. Patty C.
Let me ask you this: Paul Christ or Mario Cristobal?
Paul Christ.
Paul Christ.
Yeah.
He did it
All
decently
day.
well for a
All
while.
day.
Yeah.
Patty C. Wyoming could be the team to represent the Mountain West. So Wyoming's got their in conference. They're 3-1. Their one loss to San Jose State, but they beat Air Force and Utah State, so they have the tiebreakers there. They host Boise on November 19th.
Is that a game they typically win?
No, but but Bulls play them good, so it'll be interesting.
That would be. I mean, that's
in Laramie,
a pretty big log jam atop the Mountain West right now. So that's going to be an interesting race. And assuming Boise State wins, that are they the favorite to win the Mountain West in your mind, or is
I mean, you got to put Boise.
Fresno or San Jose State got a pretty good puncher's chance there too?
Well, in the championship game, sure, because Jake Haener will be back.
When does Haener come back?
I don't know, but San Diego State's currently up 23-7 on Nevada. I'm going to cover that. 14 seconds left in that game. Patty C. Okay, before we get out of here, just want to ask you a few things.
Yeah.
Just want you to tell me who would win these games. Ready?
Okay.
Rapid fire. Georgia against San Jose. San Jose State at Georgia.
Georgia.
Terrible game, right?
Yeah. It's an ass kicking.
Buffalo at Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Terrible game, right?
Probably.
Okay. Texas Tech at Tennessee.
I'll say Tennessee.
Okay. UAB at Michigan. Terrible game?
Yeah, terrible game.
But Texas Tech, Tennessee, I think could be
solid game.
Yeah.
Decent. I mean, I still think at Tennessee wins by 14.
West Virginia at Clemson.
Clemson, yeah, obviously by like 10, 11.
Baylor at Alabama.
It's an ass kick.
I don't think so.
You think Baylor brings it?
I think that'd be a game. I mean, I think Bama. Oh, actually, no. In Tuscaloosa, Bama.
I think unless you have,
if it was in Waco, I think it could be a game. But
unless you have weapons that are better than Alabama's weapons, then they're gonna beat you up.
I mean, does A&M have weapons? A&M was with the 1 yard line
against Bama.
Yeah,
this year. You're right. That's true. That's a great point. Bama they aren't who we thought they were.
Boise State at Ole Miss.
Boise State at Ole Miss. I guess Ole Miss. I don't know.
Yeah, Miami at UCLA.
I'm taking UCLA.
Now I did these before today, so makes it a little tricky. Some of the results today, but Western Kentucky at TCU.
TCU. Yeah, pretty easy.
That might be interesting though. Western Kentucky sling the ball around.
Make it interesting. Yeah.
Notre Dame at Oregon.
Oregon kills them.
Louisville at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State kills them.
Really?
Yeah.
Georgia Southern at USC.
I guess you got to say USC, but that would be interesting because
little Helton revenge.
Yeah, but also
they should make that a bowl game.
The interception kings that is USC versus that passing the ball all over the field.
Washington State, Wake Forest. Who you taking?
Oh gosh, I'm taking Wake there.
ECU, Syracuse.
That's a good game. That's a real good game.
Florida, Utah. We saw that was a good game, but this one will be in Salt Lake City.
I'll take Utah. Utah should have won in Gainesville.
Duke at Penn State.
Penn State. But that's a good game. It's a better game than you would expect.
Toledo, Kansas State.
K-State destroys them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it might be a game. K-State lost to Tulane.
True.
Oklahoma at Illinois. Contrast in styles.
I think Illinois gets that one done this year. But let's not sleep on Oklahoma. They're still Oklahoma.
BYU at Kentucky. Who you taking?
BYU at Kentucky. I got to take Kentucky
there. Pitt at Texas.
Texas kills them.
No, it's not going to be a killer.
Yeah, it just depends on which Texas.
That's a game. That is a game. You're not telling me. Coastal Carolina at Cincinnati.
Coastal sucks this year. Cincy. I mean, they don't suck, but
Cincy barely beat South Florida.
That's true. Both of them are down a little bit.
Troy at North Carolina.
That's a good game. Who do you got in that one?
I think I got to go Troy, right?
At North Carolina?
I don't know. Chapel Hill's not a tough place to play, though. Everyone's with their wine and cheese.
I might go Troy in that one, too.
Washington at NC
Where are
State.
these hypotheticals coming
Washington at NC State. Who are you taking?
Washington at NC State. That's a tough one. Flip a coin.
No. Washington's better.
Okay.
UTSA at Mississippi State.
UTSA at Mississippi State. That's a good game, too. I think I would lean UTSA at this point.
A&M at Tulane.
Tulane.
App State at Purdue.
App State. After last week, App State looks fucking awesome again. Or this week, I suppose.
Florida State at LSU. In Baton Rouge, not at that fucking dome.
Right now?
Yeah.
I would say LSU.
Arkansas at UCF. Who are you taking?
Arkansas at UCF. Probably Arkansas. I don't know.
Minnesota at South Carolina.
Minnesota at South Carolina. That's a good game.
I'm taking the Gophers.
I think I'm taking the Gophers too.
Liberty at Kansas.
With or without Jalen Daniels?
I think you got to just say right now.
Right now, I'm going Liberty.
Okay. South Alabama at Oregon State.
Where are these coming from?
There's only two more.
Okay. South Alabama at Oregon State.
Yeah.
I'm going to Oregon State.
I am too. Maryland at James Madison.
Fuck the Terrapins. Right? Don't even ask me that.
All right. Well, look, that's what my look. You went with a lot of road teams, more than you think, right?
Yeah.
And that would be a 64 team playoff. And I found every game to be entertaining. I found every game to be entertaining except for 3: San Jose State, Georgia, Buffalo, Ohio State, and UAB, Michigan.
You have 1 versus 64, and that the games aren't going to get entertaining for probably a round or two, but at least everyone will be given the opportunity.
No, I think every other game is actually somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, some of those had decent. Yeah.
No, I think there's 3 bad ones, but we already get bad ones because Georgia, they play FCSs. Ohio State played Arkansas State. Buffalo's better than Arkansas State. San Jose State is better than fucking whoever. They're better than Samford, all right, in the FCS, right?
Yeah.
UAB is better than Hawaii, Colorado State, and UConn combined, right?
Yeah.
So we already get those shitty games, so we might as well just do it in a 64 team playoff. My point, though, is that you took the road team in a lot of those games.
Okay. And you're saying
the point is that
that makes the playoff compelling because we don't know who would win those games.
You have no idea who would win these games.
That's true.
I think Texas Tech. I'm going to take Tennessee if I had to pick it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas Tech beat them.
Sure, absolutely.
Let's go.
No, that's a good one.
Let's
go.
A
good game.
All right, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience. One day we'll get a 64 team playoff, like Mike Leach tells us. You know, we're going to get it done.
There you go.
He wants 64, and then he wants the rest to play in another 64.
There you go.
So the 64 worst teams. He's a genius. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. Oh, man, the previews are coming out on the College Basketball Experience. Tell a friend.
Boom.
Season tips November 7th. Subscribe to the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick. He does great fucking work. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Check out the NFL Gambling Podcast, Big NFL Sunday tomorrow. And the MLB Gambling Podcast as that season continues to roll on. Soccer Gambling Podcast with the World Cup around the corner. Terrell Furman gave out a parlay with me this morning. Pretty fucking impressive. Moneyline parlay. Check out the NBA Gambling Podcast. He hosts that. Check out the NHL Gambling Podcast because they kick ass there. All right, folks. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. And please, someone hit me up today saying, dude, can we tip you? Because you really gave us some good picks today. And I said, dude, we don't need a tip. All I need is for you to get over to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. It helps us more than you realize, honestly. Please do that. And if you could tweet out saying this is a great college football podcast, spread the word. That's all I would ask. I think that's solid. We're not asking for too much.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the College Football Experience, Week 8 reaction show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Sometimes people that are standing on third base think they hit a triple. You know? but we didn't.
It's Division I football. It's a big 12. They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us great. Get us legs. Ah!